Hi, and welcome back to our show. My name is Curtis Brooks, your host, transformational speaker, and authority and employee engagement. Today, we're going to be finishing up our fourth layer of our pyramid, that is importance. It is going to be, in fact, our third installation. The first two, survival and security, were part of a one video presentation. The belonging layer of our pyramid is a standalone, and finally, we have our fourth layer that is going to be our third installation of our video series. In fact, is also a standalone video. But before we get into discussing importance as relates to Maslow's theory, again, my name is Curtis Brooks, and this is employee engagement, why it can work for your organization. Previously, we discussed survival. Survival Maslow theory states that survival is going to be the biggest portion of this pyramid, and it is also the most difficult piece of this pyramid. It's like running a marathon. The bigger portion of the marathon must be fought for, really. You must put everything into it. And it is more so a mental game than it is a physical. It's more so a mental understanding, or at least a preparation for the mind, than it is anything else. Because if we can see the body as a more so like a vessel, and the mind the engine that operates this vessel, and if we can get the mind right, we'll get past the survival piece. We'll get past the bigger portion of the marathon and be prepared to take on security. Security is very interesting because it tends itself to, again, your mental state. Do I feel secure? And it's interesting because most of what we do, it starts off with a feeling, how we feel. Do we feel secure in our job? Do we feel that we're making enough money? Do we feel confident? Again, a lot of what we discuss, or at least we talk about, has to do with feelings. And I'm going to step out there and say that when we feel, or at least when our feelings are not regulated, they can get out of control. Much in the same fashion, our emotions obviously can get out of control at times for many of us. And the emotions or the feelings are always changing. And because they are changing, we need to really get a grasp and a hold on them, if you will, and to allow those feelings to change, because they will change, and recognize that they are going to change, and that sometimes we don't know how and why we are feeling things, but that it's there. And a lot of times these feelings are familiar to us. We've seen them before. And there we come into a place of belonging. We come into a place of belonging because sometimes our feelings take us there. A sense of belonging is not necessarily a mind that is made up. A sense of belonging is really a mindset that you have to develop. In most cases, and I'm going to, again, step out there on a limb, in most cases, the importance is the machine that drives it. Yes, our mind will, again, drive this vessel called our body. But the importance is the state of your mind, which is grounded within survival, security, and belonging. And again, as Maslow's theory states, that if you can get past this survival, you can come to a place of security. And if you can get past that place of I'm secure, you can come to a place of belonging, regardless of the indifferences that others might have, regardless of your own indifferences. You must get to a place of belonging. And once you have achieved the place of belonging, you are ready to become established. And again, most of this starts off with feelings for all of us. But the important piece of this pyramid here, or at least the fourth layer of our pyramid, the importance piece of it is that it is your state of mind. It is your state of being. It is your mind being made up that is grounded, if you will. The importance is like a stake in the ground. And when you establish yourself, you can now take up your position. You can now pitch your tent, if you will, and begin to put the pictures on the wall. Begin to really make sense of different things in life. It doesn't mean that we're going to understand this, but more on a personal level, we can understand the different layers and the different trials that we've gone through in our own personal lives, and come to a place that we can reconcile with all of the challenges, the valleys, the highs, the lows that we've gone through, and still find a place that says, through it all, I am important. Yes, we are talking about employee engagement. But first, before we become anyone's employee, we must understand this model on a personal level. And I think that's the challenge of so many times, is that we can expect our employer to do more than what we're doing for ourselves. And that simply means that we have not done this work. And if we haven't done the work, we cannot expect the employer to do the work for us. In most cases, at any of these levels, you will not be satisfied. In fact, you won't get past the first level, because all of what you need will grow out of survival as we are maturing in the courses and the challenges through life. All of what you will gather through life will be birthed out of survival. You'll come to a place of security out of your survival. Out of your survival, you'll come to a place of belonging. Out of your survival, you'll come to a place of importance. Again, when we understand this information more on a personal level, we can take the job away from our employer and not burden them with the decisions that we've made for lack of doing our own work. This is important, folks, because each of us are responsible for our needs, meaning that at each of these levels here on the pyramid, it's your responsibility. It's my responsibility as an individual. All too often, we have placed this responsibility in the hands of our employer. And first and foremost, this here must be our own personal agenda. That is to make sure that we are beyond the survival mode. Because if we are not beyond the survival mode, there's not anything I can give you. There's not anything that your employer can give to you that's going to make you feel comfortable, that's going to make you feel that you fit in, that's going to make you feel that you're secure or that you belong or that you're important. Understand this. Get this, folks. It's not difficult, but it does take time to understand. It's really simple, but in fact, it's so simple that we have to spend time with it to wrap our minds around this. Because, again, if on a personal level, we have not come to a place where we have understood our own challenges, moved past the survival into security, the belonging, the importance, how do we expect our employer to compensate us for our work? It's not going to make any sense to us. We'll be, in fact, disengaged rather than engaged. So remember, let's do our work so that we can take the responsibility away from our employer. Because in fact, this is our job. It's your job to ensure that you have gone past this pinnacle of just the survival mode into a place of security, to a place of belonging, and into a place of importance. That's how the employer can engage us. Is that they're no longer speaking to those levels of survival. They're helping build us up. They're helping to encourage us, not on a level of just survival, security, or belonging, or importance, because we have all these things personally. And remember, as we move forward in discussing the different topics that I've discussed here, as you're sharing them with your colleagues, or if you're a CEO, business owner, you want to make changes within your organization, understand, well before the employee, this is personal engagement. And then it becomes employee engagement. My name is Curtis Brooks. I have been your host, transformational speaker, and your authority in employee engagement. You can contact me for more information as relates to employee engagement for your organization at my Facebook channel. That's going to be I Am Curtis Brooks. Again, that's I Am Curtis Brooks. They're on Facebook. Also, you can locate me on LinkedIn. Again, that is I Am Curtis Brooks. They're on LinkedIn. Once more on Twitter at I Am Curtis Brooks. And finally on YouTube, it's going to be Curtis Brooks, Transformational Speaker. I want to again thank you and encourage you to take a listen to the previous installations that I have put together here as relates to Maslow's theory, hierarchy of needs applied to employee engagement. You've been listening to your host. My name is Curtis Brooks. And finally, before we leave, we will be talking next week, our last installation, that's going to be self-actualization. And that is guaranteed to be good stuff. Check us out here on next week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.